All right, so the last home games this week at against Utah State. The Bulldogs are tied second place in Mountain West with Utah State. No, not Utah State. UNLV, Boise, Hawaii, Hawaii, and so forth. So the Bulldogs just got to win out. Utah State was in that position last week, but they lost a game at UNLV. They should not have lost, and I'll get to that in a moment. But now they are 3-3, 5-5. So all practical purposes, they are out, and they are still fighting for a bowl game, while the Bulldogs are fighting to try and get into the championship game. It would be a different game, an elimination game, if Utah State did not miss 3 field goals against UNLV. That was a game they really should have won. We'll see if they have a hangover from that. Hopefully, via the Bulldogs, they do. But we shall see how they do things later. The Aggies are a team that is certainly much more. They score a lot more points than what we've seen from the likes of Wyoming and San Diego State and so forth. Bulldogs have not beaten the Aggies at home since 2013 in that first ever Mountain West Championship game. How about that? Okay, so you know they're going to have a respectable team on the Bronco Mendenhall, and that's really what they have. 2 of the losses have come against 2 top 16 teams in the SEC, Vanderbilt and Texas A&M. So, and the offense is very explosive. They're second in the Mountain West, about 32 points per game. They average about 426 yards per game, 4th in the conference. They run and pass it. They're 3rd in passing yards, 265. And our 5th in the conference, 160 yards. The lead running back is Miles Davis. From what I've seen, he has like 650 yards, 6 touchdowns. But they have another guy right behind him with 521 yards. So we're going to see multiple Aggies with the potential to score. They've got one guy, Pagan, who wide receiver, 800 yards, 5 touchdowns, and another guy with 587 yards and 6 touchdowns. So they spread the ball around. All right, that's what they like to do. And of course, Bryson Barnes is the guy who runs everything. And yes, that is the same Bryson Barnes. If you are a college football fan and this guy's been everywhere in Utah, it is that same guy. And he has thrown for 235. 100 yards, 18 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, 63% completion. So he is not going to turn the ball over. He also runs for the ball. He has 531 yards rushing and 7 more touchdowns. All right, but you can sack him. He's had 27 sacks, 113 rushing yards. So the Bulldog defense, and they have the chance to sack him, they better do it. All right, and so this is a team that likes to score. As I said, they like to score the ball. The defense, though, is not very good. They're ranked 10th in the Mountain West. They give 29 yards per game. They're ranked 10th in yards allowed at 420 yards. They give up 246 yards passing, and they are 10th in the conference run defense, 170 yards per game. They're not they're 3-3-5 defense. We've seen it before. No big difference. If you were to tell me what kind of game this, I've seen people be worried about this is where Conklin gets exposed and so forth. To me, this is really just about how the Bulldogs want to play. The Bulldogs want to play their game. They'll be fine, all right? If Utah State will not have a chance to score that many points, all right? They're just not going to. Because of time possession, how long the Bulldogs keep the ball, how they run their drives. The Bulldogs, if it goes the way the Bulldogs want, this would be a 24-17 type ball game. All right, it's also crucial they score first. When the Bulldogs score first, they generally do much better than when they don't. And Conklin has also faced the 3 best defenses in the Mountain West, barring Fresno State. All right, that's and we all know Warner would not have done nearly as well. So I think with the weather being better, it'll be dry. There won't be any rain issues. We'll start to see the passing game develop and take that next step that we've been wanting to see again. He doesn't have to be a Hayner or a Carr. He just needs to be a guy who doesn't turn the ball over. That's what this offense needs. And if you can add extra passing to it, all the better. All right? So if this goes the Bulldogs' way, I think they will beat the Aggies. I think they're better than them. I've seen lots of Utah State play. But you never know. I mean, this is a game the Bulldogs can't lose. I had them pick to win this one to start of the year, but it is what it is. I still think they will. And this will be a big conference matchup as well. San Diego State is playing San Jose State this weekend, so we'll find out more about that. Hawaii is at UNLV Friday night. And speaking of Friday night, The Bulldog basketball team is playing New Orleans at 6 o'clock at the same Center at home. So unlike last week where you had to choose between either football or basketball, this week you could do both in theory on Friday night and on against Saturday. You can go back and forth. Basketball team, speaking of them, had 2 big wins. They beat Utah Valley. What was the score? I can't remember. 75-34. Yeah, that's right. Against, while the men were playing at football. And the men's beat it won 80-74 over Stephen F. Austin. That was a 4-0 team. And that was a very impressive win because that's a win. These are 2 victories that the Bulldogs do not get in numerous years. They don't get it last year. They don't get it at the Hudson. It's been a long time since you've seen the Bulldogs get this caliber of wins and tight games the way they have. All right? That's just the bottom line here. Now, these are 2 teams that they beat that are caliber, Mountain West, credible teams. And that is what is the most encouraging thing. You've got very encouraging freshmen like Stickman leading the way. You've got Gorey as well. I mean, you know, if you could keep these 2 guys, you could develop a lot. Now, this is not a team that is a fish caught by any stretch of the imagination. They are... I was talking about this. They missed enough free throws to put themselves in a position to lose against Austin, but the defense has been much better the last 2 games in terms of being what you wanted to see from Vance Walbert. Let me give you an example on the free throw shooting. They're 59 in the field against Stephen F. Austin, 5 for 12 from three-point range, 11 to 19 from free throws. I mean, the shooting has to get better from that perspective. All right, you know, this is a team that has to win by shooting threes, and they have to make their free throws. No bottom line about that. But at the same time, you know, they have bounced back nicely from that debacle against Upside. And from, you know, that perspective, you want to see them finish strong. You know, they're allowing like 45% from the field overall, I think. Yeah, something like that. So they are defensively doing what you want them to do. All right. So, and also, you know, I remember hearing them, they wanted to register Stickman, and I'm like, now it's like, why do you want to register this guy? You need players on the court more than any other sport, okay? The most talented guys are, I don't care they're freshmen, okay? At this point, NIL, transport, doesn't really matter anymore. You know, get your most talented basketball guys out there. They can grow over the season. You know, you need to win now. So, if the Bulldog team keeps winning, people keep showing up. And I think we will get to that point as well. Who knows what they will look like against New Orleans. Who knows what will happen. But if you keep developing, people will come out and win. All right? So it's been a good week for Bulldog sports. The men's basketball team won 2 tough games that they would have lost in the past. Football is still doing what they need to do. Just keep winning, baby. We'll see how it goes after this next weekend. But for now, go Dogs.